What's up, guys? This is personal trainer Ty again. In this exciting video, I want to answer some of the questions that I received this week so far. And since this is my first one, I'm going to go ahead and start from the beginning, New Year's in 2013. I'm going to answer all the questions and all the comments that I've been receiving since then. And if there's any questions in there that I feel that's extremely important, that I'm going to make a completely separate video on it. But in this case, I'm just going to answer all the questions that I've been getting since the beginning of 2013 here, okay? So in this first question right here, I got it from Holiness D2. And his comment is that enjoyed the video very much. I'm 26, injured my left knee, and looking to rebuild without surgeries. Are these goals still attainable? Can I somewhat still play basketball, but I'm not explosive as I should be? Any suggestions, right? Okay, Mr. Holiness D2. You just had left knee injury. I don't know how long ago you had the injury. And what kind of injury that you sustained when you, what caused the injury, okay? With the clients I've worked in the past, I usually work with clients that have either just had an injury and they just came back from orthoscopic surgery or some kind of surgery, and they have finished rehab. Normally when I work with clients that need their knee rehabbed or anything like that, it's usually after they've completed surgery and after they've completed physical therapy, and then that's when they come to me, okay? Most people don't come to me in the beginning because usually the orthopedic surgeon or whoever their doctors will prescribe them to go get therapy first, and then after all that, when it doesn't work, you know, or if it works but it's not as well, then they come to me. In your case, I cannot answer that for you because I don't know the extent of your injury, and usually I don't work with injury people unless I can see them walk and I can see them move. There's no way that I'm going to be able to answer you accurately just off of a question, so sorry about that, buddy. The other question you have is, can I somewhat still play basketball, but I'm not explosive as I should be? Any suggestions? Well, whenever you come off of a knee injury, any type of knee injury, you're not going to be as explosive. One is usually because of the actual physical injury itself, whether it's a tear, a rip, or whatever it is, and we're not going to know unless an orthopedic surgeon takes a look at it. The other thing that causes it is the hesitation, is the fear of re-injuring it again, so you're going to hesitate on it, so that's going to cut down your explosiveness quite a bit. So there's not really much that I can help you with on this scenario because I cannot see you walk and I cannot examine you when you're not in front of me, okay? So sorry about that, buddy. I'm not trying to skip out on you or nothing, but there's not much that I can do to answer that, okay? Okay, there's this other one. The next comment is from Quickie Mart, and he says, let me see, wouldn't call them deadlifts. There's no hip drive, and he yanked the weight up at the beginning instead of leaning back with the weight to stimulate the hamstrings and glutes. Honestly, it looks painful. And this is a comment that Quickie Mart made on one of my clients, Cedric Green, on his sumo deadlift for 405 times 11 reps. And he says that he wouldn't call these deadlifts. I just want to make a comment here because a lot of people have been sending me comments about why Cedric or myself or a lot of my clients are not deadlifting and I don't have the clients touching the ground. The only time that I have my clients touching the ground on the deadlift is when they are getting ready for a competition. Even when I train someone for 12 weeks to get ready for a powerlifting meet, I do not have them do the touching the ground until the last 2, 4, or 6 weeks of preparation. The reason why is because the risk of injury is extremely high when somebody touches the ground, because when the weight comes down onto the ground, what you won't realize this until you've done it with hundreds of people, and then you'll start to see that it's a high risk of injury, is that if you pick up 405 pounds or 500 pounds or 585 or 675 and you hit the ground, if you don't touch the ground evenly and rebound back up, what happens is the shock will come up your spine, and it'll cause your spine to waver, and the risk of injury on that is extremely high. When I was training the people, the prisoners back in the prison, I hurt quite a bit of prisoners doing that, so I finally figured out that that was not a good thing. So for all intents and purposes, during the training, I do not have any of my clients touch the ground. And there's a lot of people that argue with that. I'm not going to sit there and argue with it because I've trained hundreds of people to deadlift, 400 or 500 pounds already, and I've done it, injury-free after I figured out how it was done. So I do not recommend it. Quickie Mark mentions that he yanked the weight up in the beginning instead of leaning back. If you try to pick up 400, 500, 600, 700 pounds and you lean back first, what happens is as you lean up, as you lean back like this, you're going to drive your hips in. The goal is to drive your hips in so you can lift it up. But if you lean back too far, what happens is this is what I call standing on the weight, sitting on the weight, and you won't be able to get that much weight up off the ground. I don't know if you've worked with a bunch of people that have lifted over 500 pounds or more, Quickie Mart, but I can't comment on what you're saying because I've tried that in the past with hundreds of people, and it's not as effective. That's why I'm doing it the way I am. And it says that you also mentioned that with the weight to stimulate the hamstrings and glutes. The way that I have people do it, it does stimulate the hamstrings and the glutes. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to pick up 400 or 500 pounds, and especially not for no 11 reps. Okay, so thanks for the comment there, but that's just my remark there. Okay, who's next here in line? Next person in line is that I guess it's Fag Bucket Live. That's with a PH. Fag Bucket Live comments that I made a video on how to do standing barbell shoulder presses, and he says that this is not a push press. This is a push press and not a shoulder press. I disagree with that, Fag Bucket Live, because a push press is where you use your legs. You have to get down, and then as you throw it up, the whole body is moving. In the video that I'm showing you where you're doing the standing barbell shoulder press, my legs are not being used to lift the weight up, so that will not constitute as a push press. And another thing too is that the push press is not something that's easy to learn from a video. I don't think that I've ever met anybody that is a beginning client that has been able to watch a push press video or read about it online or in a magazine and be able to do it correctly. So I'm not going to do that anytime soon, to do a push press video, because it's something that someone has to be there professionally to show you how it's done correctly. If you try to do it on your own, all the people that I've seen do it on their own, they've always ended up hurting their back, their neck, or their shoulders, or their knees. One of those will go out. So I'm not going to risk doing that online and risk hurting someone's back or neck doing that, okay? Now, I myself have figured out how to learn to do it on my own, but at the extent of hurting my back and my neck multiple times before I finally figured out how to do it. So I'm not going to do that with other people that I know are not going to be able to do it just by watching the video, okay? V-Pressy Press here made a comment on my how to do barbell lunges, and he said, holy fuck, phone the funny farm. I guess he finds it funny. Either the video, the way I'm doing the exercise, or my funny face. Either way, it's great. Thanks for the comment. Next comment here is by Shoot Wasted Talent, right? And it's on a video of how to calculate and find your 1 rep max, and he says that I have awful bicep form, and I don't know why he made that comment, Mr. Shoot Wasted Talent, because in the video, I'm showing one of the clients how to do how to calculate their 1 rep max using a decline sit-up. So, don't know what you're talking about there. Cannot comment on it. Let's see who's next here. The next comment up in queue is by Strap SX3, and he has a comment on how to create a workout routine video that I made, 1 of 2. And he says, I officially think this is the best workout routine on the web ever. Best way to get started and to have an idea on how to not overdo the exercising. I got a problem with time, and when I try to crunch it, I end up injuring myself with this. I have a much better visual. Well, great. I was glad that that was able to help you there, Strap SX3. You know, guys, I'm glad that Strap SX3 made that comment. You know, one of the most common things that people screw up at the gym is that they are doing they're overtraining. You'll hear me say it over and over and over that people overtrain quite a bit at the gym, and not just quite a bit, but a whole ton, and that's probably the #1 mistake that people make. So that's why I came up with the standard workout routine, so that it prevents you from overtraining. So I'm glad that that was able to help you out there, Strap SX3. So let's go on to the next comment here. The next comment is Taoist32. And he has a comment on My first video of the how to rehab your knee after an injury or a surgery, where I talk about strength training versus physical therapy, and that's video 1 of 6. And Taoist32 states that I am a personal trainer, clinical and sports massage therapist, and soon a physical therapist, which is, well, congratulations, buddy. I recommend you do not go beyond your scope of practice. In matters of law, you could be sued for the information you are giving people. Injury rehab requires specific knowledge and a national license required by law. If you do continue, whether you think it's fair or not, you can be sued and your personal trainer business can be shut down, and I'm serious. Okay, I appreciate your concern, Taoist32. It says that you're a personal trainer, clinical and sports massage therapist. You know, we each have a different, unique way. Each of us have a unique way of rehabbing people and training people. I've been training people for over 2 decades, and that doesn't mean anything. Whenever you hear people say that they've been training people for so many people, you know, it really doesn't matter anything to me. What I think that my experience comes from is from training the thousands of prisoners that I trained for over a decade and a half, almost a decade and a half there in prison. And I did a lot of experimental research on these prisoners, and it took us a long time to figure out what works and what didn't. So I'm going to stick with the experimental research that I did. You're welcome to stick to your what they teach you in school. I never went to school for it. I learned it out in the field. If I trained those people and they didn't walk, I did not get sued for it or anything. It's just that they wouldn't walk and they would be really screwed up for the rest of their life. So I really paid a lot of attention to make sure I was doing it right. And during the time that I was experimenting on these people, I had a bunch of licensed therapists and a bunch of licensed massage therapists around me. My stepmom has been doing acupuncture, and she knows acupuncture and massage more than probably most of the people that I've met in my life. And as far as sports massage therapy goes, I've massaged and worked on so many people that I can't even tell you how many it is. So all I'm saying is this, is that I'm sharing my knowledge with people based on the real world experience that I've had training and working with people. It's not conjecture. It's not something that I pull out my ass. It's something that came from the real world. So basically what I'm going to say is that I'm going to stick to it. Okay? So, and you don't have to worry about me getting sued. Ain't nobody going to sue my ass because I ain't got no money. If you sue my ass, you'll probably lose more money trying to sue me than you will getting money out of me. So, okay, next comment here is by Clarissa Little, and she says, thank you for taking my daughter and turning her life around with such a powerful will to powerlift when she herself had such troubled times. Her comment, Clarissa's comment, is based on Chris Papillon's interview with Pressbox Victoria, and Chris is one of the strongest human beings I've ever had the privilege to work with. He lived down in Victoria, Texas, which is near Corpus Christi. And I was living in Austin at the time, and when I met him, it was through a mutual friend, Big Dave, that trains at, he's a professional bodybuilder at the Gold's Gym Tech Ridge. He's based out of Austin, Texas. The guy's humongous. You want to see what I'm talking about? Google the video, a 405 bench for 20 reps. That's the Big Dave I'm talking about. So Big Dave and Chris Papillon are used to be high school buddies, and they came from the same town and everything. That's how I met Chris. And you can see one of the videos where I'm working with him on his deadlift before the meet that he had in Austin. We had very limited time to train with each other simply because he was from out of town, so I had to do the little that I could with him. But I'm glad that Clarissa Little, that you were inspired by Chris. He inspires me as well, and he inspires a ton of people that I know of, okay? And he has a really great, awesome story of being in prison himself also, and coming out and being able to get back on his feet and knock off all the naysayers and the negative people that said he couldn't make it, and he went out there and proved them to be wrong. He is one of the strongest human beings alive, okay, that I have ever had the privilege to work with. So wherever he's at right now, I wish him the best of luck, because that man is freaking strong, okay? The next comment comes from the Simon's Life, and the Simon's Life says, made a comment on my thing about Ain't nobody got time for that. You know, it's interesting that you make that comment about that black girl, Sweet Brown, or something like that, because at work, my coworker just showed me that video just like a week ago. That's how I recognize that comment. But yeah, she is funny. I don't know, no questions there, so I appreciate the comment there, Simon's Life. Next comment here is on how to get rid of stretch marks, and it's a comment by XXX Xenox XXX95, and the meaning of cocoa oil is to reduce the chance to get stretch marks, not to rub the cocoa oil on to remove the stretch marks. What the F, man? Okay, so I assume that this is a dude that's writing this, Xenox XXX95. Now, I know a lot of people argue what I had to say about the stretch marks, but folks, stretch marks are permanent, okay? They're like tattoos. It's not something you can get rid of. The only way that I know of how to get rid of them is through the laser stuff that they go in and that the plastic surgeons go in there and use, and that's how they can get rid of it, but it's an expensive process. And from the results that I've seen, once they remove the stretch marks with the laser, there's a leftover mark from the laser burning your skin. So now you're switching stretch marks for laser marks. So either way, I haven't seen any permanent way to get rid of it, okay? And cocoa oil does not remove the stretch marks. It does not prevent the stretch marks. It doesn't do a damn thing for stretch marks, okay? So I don't know where you got that idea from, but we've tested all kinds of nonsense on the thousands and thousands of people that I've worked on, and I ain't never seen anybody work on it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move on from that, okay? Cocoa oil does not prevent nor remove stretch marks, and don't waste your money on it. Don't be fooled by it, all right? The next comment is by Penguin 12711, okay? And the comment is on my first video, 1 of 8, on how to gain muscle and understanding the fast twitch versus slow twitch muscle fibers. And the comment is, you talked about intensity but didn't actually mention the speed of the reps. I'm a girl. I want to tone my body, not getting it bigger. I don't exercise with the maximum weight that I can do, but with many reps, mostly 15 with any exercise. So should I be doing the 15 reps that I'm doing fast or slowly? Thanks in advance. That's a great question, Penguin 12711. And I have made a separate video. If you search for it on my fitness blog, getbiggetstrong.com, you will find the video on how fast should I do the reps or something like that, okay? So you just search for it, and I have a complete video that explains it. And for your concern there, you talk about not wanting to get bigger because you don't use the maximum weight. You really don't have to worry about that, Penguin, because I've trained lots of females already, and females don't have the amount of testosterone, the male hormone in their body like guys do. So the chances of you getting just humongously big and looking butchy and all that, that's just completely retarded. That's completely ridiculous. You're never going to look like that. The only girls that look like that are the girls that are injecting steroids and injecting testosterone and growth hormones into their body. Okay, so all the girls that are trained for the Miss Olympia, a lot of the CrossFit chicks, the ones that you see that are really muscular, right, and got arms like I do, those girls are on steroids, so you don't want to compare yourself to them. I've never once, I've trained hundreds of females in my life, and I have never, ever once trained a female, okay, that trains with maximum weight that ends up looking like a man or looking butchy. They all look very feminine. Their arms are rock solid. Their legs, everything is just, I mean, really toned and really solid. So I would not worry about that. If you stick with 15 reps, that's great. The risk of injury are very, very extremely low, and the risk of overtraining is extremely low also when you stay with the 15 reps. So if that's working for you, I would just recommend that you stay with that, okay? And then as far as the speed of the reps goes, just watch one of my other videos, because I did a really detailed video about that, okay? By the way, getting toned for women, that's like the #1 reason that, probably #2 reason that women come to the gym. When I was at Gold's Gym, #1 was to lose body fat, #2 was to get toned. So keep it up, Penguin, and you're doing a great job, so keep it up. So I hope that answers you. Let me go to the next one here. The next comment is by GBH 086, and it's on my video, how to do standing dumbbell shoulder presses. And GBH 086 says that all this time I've been doing it while looking up. Thanks for showing the right form. Okay, so yeah, you don't, whenever you're doing any kind of standing push, any kind of pressing movement where you're standing and there's no back support, you never want to look up, because as soon as that follows the principle of initiating force in the human body. This is something they teach you in the Chinese martial arts, that wherever you look, that's where your body's going to go. So you never want to look up like this, because then it's going to pull you backwards. So you don't want to do that, all right? And I'm glad that that video was able to help you out there, buddy. Okay, this last comment here that I got is from the Wayne Berry. Okay, and it's on my video on how to rehab your hand after a boxer's fracture, okay, or an injury to your hand. And he just says, great video, thank you, man. Well, hey, you're welcome. I'm glad that my video is able to help you guys out. And just leave a comment if it does, and even if it doesn't, leave a comment anyway, so I'll know what's helping and what's not, okay? So thanks for watching this week's comments, guys. I hope that those answer you. I don't have time to answer all the comments every day, guys, but in this year, in 2013, my goal is to at least do one video a week, you know, to address all the comments that everybody's sending me, because I get a ton of them every week, okay? So thanks for watching this video, and keep training and get big and get strong, guys, okay? Don't get lazy and don't give up on